Hello, everyone. Hello, hello.
Hi, good evening.
How's everyone doing? Good. All right. Welcome to the second of WBUR's Youth Takeover series. It's designed to empower high school and college students through conversations and deep exploration of issues led by young people themselves. I'm Dawry Ruiz. I'm the student co-moderator and producer for the series, and this is the second of which we are talking about arts and the sound of Boston's youth.
My name is Cristela Guerra. I'm a senior arts and culture reporter here at WBUR. I'm really happy to be here to listen. As far as I'm concerned, I mean, the arts is constantly evolving, but those who are making it right now, most of them are young people in Boston, and they're making incredible works, I think, that people aren't really getting to see. So the fact that we can spotlight some of that art, culture, conversation this evening feels really good. We want to hear from you. For those who are here, we'd love your questions. We do have Slido, but honestly, we're going to be in the audience. I'll mic you. Just, let's have a conversation. Let's engage together over this next hour.
For sure. So first up, we have a band that comes from Zoomix. So for over 30 years, Zoomix has empowered young people to build successful futures for themselves, transforming lives and community through music, technology, and creative employment. Founded in an era of gang violence for East Boston, they now support over 1,000 youth per after-school programs and in-school partnerships.
Today we have the Diversity Band. One of Zoomix's ensembles are made up of youth of different Zoomix programs. They get the experience of being in a professional band, and we're just honestly really excited to have them on this stage. I'm gonna be calling out to people as they walk by just to see if I can get them to come in with free pizza and music. So if y'all see me asking people to come through, come in, join us.
Oh, he just looked.
If we could get 5 people in just from the street, I'd be really excited.
Oh, for sure.
Thank you, Amy. So right now, we're going to have diversity.
Yeah, give it up.
Hi, everybody. I see some familiar faces. That's good, right? We are diversity, like you heard in the introduction. You guys ready? Okay. Well, I'll give a quick introduction while we get a little bit set up. On bass, we got Camille. Give it up for Camille. Thank you. On drums, we got Elia. Yeah. On piano, we got Julian. Jean. And then on guitar, we got Chris. And then you guys have me, Wendy. Sometimes I forget to introduce myself. It's just, I think we're ready.
Wait a minute, I think I left my conscience on your front doorstep. Oh, wait a minute, I think I left my consciousness in the 6th dimension. But I'm here right now, just sitting in a cloud. Oh wow, I'm here right now with you. Oh wow. I don't even care. I'll run my hands through your hair. You wanna run your fingers through mine, but my dress too thick, and that's alright. Hold on, wait a minute. Feel my attention. No, hold on, wait a minute. I left my consciousness in the 6th dimension. Left my soul in its vision. Let's go get it. Oh, let's go get it. Oh. Some things don't work. Some things are bound to be. Some things they hurt and they tear apart me. You left your diary at my house, and I read those pages. Do you really love me, baby? Some things don't work. Some things are bound to be. Some things they hurt and they tear apart me. But I broke my word, and you were bound to see. And I cried at the curb when you first said, "Oi, natika me." Hold on, wait a minute.
Thanks. Next song is Isn't She Lovely? Wow. No response? Does anybody know Isn't She Lovely? If you know it, be like, you're welcome to like sing along to the lyrics. It's an amazing song. Thank you guys. Give it up for Chris. That solo, bussin'. Amazing. Oh yeah, everybody else is amazing, right? Everybody's great. Anyways, one last song. We're gonna get a little spicy, a little Latin. You know, any Spanish speakers in the crowd? Yeah, oh yeah. That's okay. Un poquito is enough. Anyways, this is
testing.
La Tortura by Shakira.
1, 2, 3. Okay, we're good.
Ready? A moment, please. Ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. Ay, mamita mía, guárdate la poesía, guárdate la alegría para ti. No pido que todos los días sean de sol, no pido que todos los viernes sean de fiesta. te pido que vuelvas rogando perdón. Si lloras con los ojos secos, hablando de ella. Ay, amor, me duele tanto que te fueras sin decir a dónde. Ay, amor, es una tortura perderte.
Yo sé que no he sido un santo, pero lo puedo arreglar, amor.
Solo del pan vive el hombre, de excusas vivo yo.
Solo de errores aprende, y hoy sé que es tuyo mi corazón.
Mejor te guardas todo eso, tu perro en ese hueso y nos decimos adiós. No puedo pedir que el invierno perdone un rosal. No puedo pedir a los olmos que entreguen peras. No puedo pedir lo eterno a un simple mortal. Andar arrojando los cerdos miles de perlas.
Ay, amor, me duele tanto que no creas más en mis promesas.
Ay, amor, es una tortura perderte.
Yo sé que no he sido un santo, pero lo puedo arreglar, amor.
Solo del pan vive el hombre, de excusas vivo yo.
Solo de errores aprende, y hoy sé que es tuyo mi corazón.
Mejor te guardas todo eso, tu perro en ese hueso y nos decimos adiós.
No te vayas,
Oye, mamita, mira.
no te vayas. De lunes a viernes tenías mi amor. Déjame el sábado que mi es mejor. Oye, mi nena, no me castigas más porque allá afuera sin ti no tengo paz. Yo solo soy un hombre reprendido, soy como el ave que vuelve su nido. Yo sé que no he sido un santo y es que no estoy hecho de cartón.
Solo del pan vive el hombre, de excusas vivo yo.
Solo de errores aprende, y hoy sé que es tuyo mi corazón.
Ay, 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 ay. Ay, todo lo que he hecho por ti fue una tortura perderte y me duele tanto que sea así. Sigue llorando, perdón. Yo no voy a llorar hoy por ti.
Thank you, everybody.
Check. Hello. Ooh. Give it up one more time for Diversity
up.
Band.
Woo!
So we're gonna do a quick Q&A. Well, a Q&A. Cristela will be taking some questions in the audience.
I will, yes. I'm going to be out. If you guys have questions for the band, please. I don't know what my phone's doing. Oh, that's you guys. I shared you on Twitter. Fantastic. Yes, so if you have questions, ask me. And Dawry is going to be doing an interview on stage.
Yes. So the first question I have, and this is really for anyone. I want to talk about what it's like being a part of an arts organization and the support that you guys get from ZoomX, as opposed to being, trying to do this by yourselves. Start here.
Okay, do I just take the mic? Okay, cool. So basically, I want to say, first of all, we have like the support of everybody in the building. Like everyone's always cheering for us. These three people right here, for example, Madeline in the back, our parents, Chris too. He's always like helping us whenever like we're struggling like with like music, trying to figure stuff out together as a band, and like just like being able to be with everybody in the building. Like if you ever have a question, everyone's like, hey, like I got you. Like they can help each other out, and yeah, basically.
All right. One thing about being part of this organization is that, yeah, we do get like a lot of support, but we're always constantly being pushed, you know, as a band. And I thank Chris for that. And like as a procrastinator myself, that's like the biggest help I can get from anybody. Elia?
Okay, so I'm very fortunate to be a part of ZoomX since I was 7 years old, and it's always just felt like a second home and a second family where I'm able to like express myself. And something really cool just about the band specifically is that we're able to do so many gigs like this one that I probably wouldn't be able to do without the support of ZoomX and everybody that's a part of it. So I think that's a really cool thing. Julian?
I think one really important thing is that if you're by yourself, you might not be able to afford your instrument, like a piano or a guitar, and you might not have too many opportunities to perform on stage, but ZoomX has all these instruments, and ZoomX has its own stage, and so you can just learn a song and perform for people. It's like not that hard to start, but it would be if you weren't at ZoomX.
I'm not you. Too old to answer that question.
We're open to anybody who has questions. Yeah.
Anything you've ever wondered about being in a band, playing
In a
music?
band, what it's like growing up. I think I saw a hand in the back.
Hand in the back?
A bit of pizza in my mouth, but I'm interested in what would you like your audience to get out of your music?
It's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody else? There you go. Okay. Personally, me just being in a band, I would like to. Well, there's like a bunch of people here from ZoomX that are older that I found inspiration from when I was younger. Maybe seeing them in like a band at ZoomX when I was a little kid, and then I'm like, okay, now I want to be in a band at ZoomX. So I kind of like follow in people's footsteps. I got inspired, and I kind of want to inspire the younger generation to keep playing music and to keep inspiring more people to just keep building like the ZoomX community.
Woo!
Does anyone else want to answer? Do we have another question? No, my answer. Oh, we got another question.
What is it like being a ZoomX youth and performing?
Do you want to elaborate?
I pretty much mean like, what is it like doing a lot of shows and just like trying to balance out performances and like schoolwork?
You guys are still in high school. Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, it's nerve-wracking. Personally, like for me, like right now my legs are shaking, but it helps me, it pushes me as a person to grow more and want to reach out to other people and like into other communities. And what was the rest of the question? What it's like, to be honest, I've dedicated a lot of my time to this band, to ZoomX. So I guess it's kind of easy to balance out for me, but I don't know how my other bandmates feel about it.
I'll pass it to you afterwards. Basically, for me, it's pretty like simple to balance out. At least for me personally, like schoolwork. I know there's a bunch of people at ZoomX who also can help you with school, like if you are struggling with that. So yeah, there's tutors too. So like I never really had to like struggle between like music and school. And also like performing has helped me a lot with like being more out there, and that also helped me with school as well. Like they're kind of connected in like what they help you with, kind of. Like I've been able to, for example, performing here, I've been able to like talk more and like do more things in class because I have like the confidence to be able to do so. Because if I can get up on stage here and perform for you guys, I can definitely like do a presentation for my class about the history of ancient Greece or something. And like just, it's just like intertwined. Yeah.
So I think we actually have to transition out. I'm
Yes.
so sorry. Keep your questions. We're going to keep asking them throughout, but we're just going to clear the stage, take about 10 minutes, relax, get to know your neighbor, look at people outside and tell them to come in here and eat some pizza.
There's more pizza out there. Connect with someone you're sitting next to that you've never seen before. We'll be right back in 10 minutes. Thank y'all very much.
Thank you. Give it up again for the
Give
band.
it up again for the Diversity Band. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. I'm glad you enjoyed the break and the tunes brought to you by my Spotify playlist. So, yeah, up next.
Up next, we have a really incredible artist, Michka Herard. She's a writer and filmmaker from Boston who values her stories
Yes,
enough
welcome her up.
to share them with the world. Graduated college in 2018 with a BA in English, and you've taken an interest in screenwriting and directing. Yes. Yeah.
Michka will be sharing a snippet from the first episode of her series, Dudley Street, and here she is to give a brief description of it.
Hi, everyone. I'm a local filmmaker, like they stated. So you guys will be seeing a clip from my pilot, and it's kind of just two of the main characters, CJ and Janelle. They're meeting for the first time, and they go out on this little date. And so you'll be seeing like what they talk about and what kind of like follows after.
Sweet.
All right, here we go.
Thank you.
Okay, so tell me about yourself. What are you the most passionate about? What?
It's just, I'm so used to people asking me what I do. Not enough people ask me what I love. That's real.
I mean, I try. Okay, go on, tell me about yourself.
My passion would have to be poetry or spoken word.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's just when I'm writing or speaking, I feel like I have an open space to share all my thoughts and feelings. It makes me feel like I'm above all that I am, if that makes sense.
No, I mean, I completely understand. So would you be down to share something with me?
On the first date? That's pretty bold of you.
Who said this was a date?
Okay. Well, I got something I've been working on.
Alright, let's hear it.
Alright. I was given a code as soon as I was old enough to understand. Protect your own at all costs, they said. But the brother who stands guard behind the power of black women and dare speak down on their name, it's no brother of mine. A brother who drinks from the hands of the oppressor is tainted by the dirt from his palms. A bullet to the temple from a man in blue is less painful than a knife in the back from one of my own. A brother who crucifies his own out of hate or spite and who dare call it love is no brother of mine. In a community that only sees the hate and injustice from the outside is blind to the corruption that lies within.
Wow, that was a lot to take in, but I loved it.
Yeah? You don't think it was too much?
No, not at all. I mean, somebody has to say it, right? There's so much that goes on in our community that's just left unsaid.
Yeah, exactly. You get it. I fuck with that. So, what about you, though? What are you into?
I'm into writing myself, more so the business aspect of it. I actually work at a local publishing.
No, come on. I didn't ask where you work. Like, give me that deep shit. What do you live for?
Honestly, I live for peace and for change. I love to see the world influenced by art. I live for acceptance and happiness. And I know it all sounds mad vague and broad at the same time, but I just live for anything positive. I'm not with any of that negative shit.
That's dope. So, how do you think you can contribute to all this positivity?
Well, for one, by minding my business. But besides that, I actually do spoken word myself.
Word?
Yeah.
You trying to recite something real quick?
Nah.
Come on.
I'm not as bold as you. There's way too many people here right now.
I feel that. I mean, we could go somewhere a little more private. I mean, shit, my crib's always empty.
You know what? Sure. Why not?
All right, cool. And this is my room. The acoustics are great in here, by the way. You want a water or anything? You good?
I'm fine.
Are you sure? Okay, am I bugging or did the vibe just completely change in here?
Yeah, there's just something I have to tell you.
Girl, I know you're not pregnant. I mean, we didn't even do shit yet.
No, I probably should have mentioned this sooner, but I didn't know you were feeling me like that.
Maybe we should sit?
So, I understand if you don't want anything to do with me after I tell you this. But I just think you're a really cool person, and I would never want to mislead or offend you in any way. But I think you deserve to know that I'm trans.
Well, I appreciate you telling me that, and I know it must have taken a lot for you. That shit don't matter to me. I mean, you're a cool girl, and I vibe with you. And that's it. We can take things slow if you want. It's no pressure up here.
Thank you for being so understanding.
Of course. How about that spoken word you mentioned?
Yeah, I do owe you that one, right? Okay. Alright, here it goes. I see you there, boy. You have no breast to cower under, no voice to hide behind, no identity to call your own, until one day a girl is birthed from the pain of your scars. She shines brighter than you ever could. I see you there, girl. As loud as you can be, happier than ever. Now you're free. I see you there, girl. You were not meant to be hidden from the world.
Wow. I see you too. And I like what I see.
Mishka, do you want to come back up?
Yes. Give it up one more time for Mishka. And at this time, we're gonna start the Q&A portion. I'll be in the audience this time.
I have so many questions. I don't think I've ever seen a setup on any show where the trans character is allowed agency and empowered in this way, but also not centered around their transness or their queerness. So could you talk a little bit about how you just developed your characters and this scene?
Yeah, so I wrote this back in 2019, so it's like my memory's a little blurry, but I do remember at the time there was like a height of like movements surrounding like trans rights, and I just remember thinking that growing up, any depiction I had seen of trans characters had been very negative, especially in Black or POC-centered shows, and so I kind of just like decided to take it upon myself to write a character that was shown in a more positive light, and to show people that like trans people shouldn't be dehumanized. They're just people, and yeah.
Questions in the audience? I have like 5 other questions, but other people, please.
I'm coming. I got you.
Hello, I wanted to ask about how you brought like the poem part into play, and like, for example, I noticed how like it kind of speaks about like, I'm assuming her transition, right? Like the poem it starts off with I see you boy and changes to I see you girl, and like how did you like put that part into the, like play with the two characters like coming together over that and stuff?
Yeah. So obviously, I didn't feel like it was my place, I guess, but I kind of took what I could gather from their experiences and kind of like used the metaphor of like a caterpillar turning into a butterfly, and kind of just like used that to form the poem, and my like feelings were validated by the actress because she said she was able to resonate with it, but I feel like writers in general, if they don't have like a personal experience with something, it's kind of hard to write about it, and so you can kind of just take like aspects from those experiences that you kind of like resonate with personally, and kind of like go from there.
Another question.
So I see that you use like poems as a way to kind of intensify this moment, and I was wondering if that was like a stylistic choice, something that you kind of how do you say? I guess how do you say the word? Like when you like see yourself in it, kind of like, do you use poems yourself personally? And if you didn't use like a poem to intensify this moment, what were some other ideas where it could have made this like scene even bigger?
Yeah, so I'm just very familiar with poetry. I started writing poetry before screenplays, and so I wanted to incorporate that into my writing because it was, like I said, just very familiar to me. But yeah, I'm not sure what other devices I would have used. Maybe some like film references or like something art related, because I just feel like art is very like personal to everyone. So yeah.
And I just wanted to notice, it's known that in a lot of roles that are of trans people don't get to play trans folks. You have, cisgender people playing trans roles. So just the fact that you were specifically looking for a trans actress to come and speak from her experience is powerful in and of itself. So is there anything else you want to add before we transition?
Thank you for the opportunity. If you guys want to watch the rest of the pilot and the series, there are a few episodes out on YouTube. I think it's under Told by Her.
Thank you so much. Give it up for Michka.
And so now comes great segue into the poetry section. Coming up next is Angelica, who is Boston's 2022 Youth Poet Laureate, a title earned and passed down where she's representing Boston on a more national scale. So give it up for Angelica.
Hello. Sorry, that was. Hello. Okay. I'm sorry. The sound is very weird for me. I'm not used to being this loud. But hi, how's everyone doing? I'm very nervous. So I normally like to start before I speak with a little question or a conversation or anything. Today was very hot. Did anyone enjoy it? Okay, I didn't either. Who enjoyed it? No, you didn't. It was way too hot. And I actually work at a school, at a summer camp at a school. We were outside for most of the day. I'm running around 14, 9, 10-year-olds. It's not fun. I was sweating a lot. They threw water balloons at me, so I was like, okay, that's cool. But now I'm wet and I have a performance afterwards, and it was just not great. I'm feeling okay right now. Thank you. I performed several times. I don't know why I'm always nervous, but I am. It just, oh, thank you. You guys are so wonderful. Appreciate it. I prepared one poem for today that I wrote, but there's kind of another one that I want to read, so if there's time, if I can do two. Great. Okay, so this first one is titled Water. Mother Nature created herself out of primordial chaos. Lonely, she caught shooting stars and held them to her chest. Cold, she grabbed heat from the sun and cradled it in her stomach, and slowly, the earth was molded in her arms. And when she saw that it had become too big to hold, she planted it in her womb to nourish it. And when she saw that her womb was not enough to hold it, stretching her skin, she put the earth in the sky and gave birth to all life. Her rules and her say were put into place to control, so when your life has ended, you must return to her womb and become the shooting stars that made you. You are the aftermath of Mother Nature. While the lands and oceans are her essence, moving the earth, making mountains whenever she stomped, earthquakes whenever she sang, sinkholes appeared whenever she breathed. Land had become man for the oceans, taking her time to carve out its hips, giving it a rhythm to sway, and the shore a body to hold, and its tongue tasted every tropical storm and turned it into a hurricane. Mother had turned water into woman. The next one? Should I go to the next one? Oh, okay. This one is called Goodbye, My Dear, which is a letter that I wrote that I did not send out because I partly do not like going to the post office because I get screamed at a lot there. I do. It's a true story. I will go into it later if that is a question asked of me. Very traumatic, but anyway. Dear Ophelia, I've had trouble getting you out of my head these past days. The thought of you leaving has brought me something other than excitement, and not quite sorrow. Insignificance. These past days, I've turned your body into something more than words on paper, more than metaphors and romantic cliches. I've turned you into 3 stanza moments too brief to be labeled a memory. I've turned you into a woman of the dark, remembered only by her obituary, angry, into a galaxy worth the exploration, an apology I've never said or thought to give, and things unwritten, untitled, and simply sitting, soaking up the emotions. Yet I refuse to give in and turn you into a what if, or a maybe, or false hope with each pen stroke. I don't want you to turn into a magic trick, into a card game of either showing my hand or folding. So this, my dear, is my goodbye. Hopefully when I open my notebook or look at the stars or go to your favorite coffee shop or think about leaving another voicemail, I'll remember what we were and who I became.
Give it up one more time, one more time. So we're gonna start the Q&A portion of the performance now.
I will
and-
be in the audience. If you have questions, I will try not to block the camera, as I have been many times.
Yes, so to start it off, I feel like the Youth Poet Laureate, position is a new position to Boston, but is now, I feel like gained a lot of national attention, especially after the Joe Biden inauguration and everything that's been going on. So how does it feel to be, part of something larger? I don't know if you felt that impact yet, but how do you feel? And I guess you have a mic now, but yeah.
I haven't really thought about that too much. I know when I was named the Youth Poet Laureate, I just remember kind of keeled over. Cause when I was nervous, I was just like, they didn't call my name, they called someone else, But then I was just like, no, they did call me. And it was mainly just me thinking are my words really that impactful to be in this position? And then my words are that impactful to not only be in this position, but to do things like this that impact people like me, people older than me, people younger than me. So I kind of do sometimes feel like something bigger, but other times I like to stick to the grain of it and take the bigger things as what I kind of do, not as much as myself, if that makes sense.
Any audience questions?
So many. Folks, I saw you all first. Questions?
You go first. Okay. You should go. Okay. Oh man, I felt chills when you were speaking. Seriously, and it made me think, what do you feel when you're writing poetry? And what are you seeing when you're writing your poetry? Oh, actor, sorry.
Okay. When I write, it's weird when I explain my process. So I don't write out exactly what I'm gonna do. I do little blurbs and stuff, because my mind races a lot. But also for example, when I wrote the first one, Water, I was in the car and I passed by a beach and I saw these two girls who were running away from the shore, and I was kind of following them. But I don't know if I was seeing things, but it kind of split behind them, didn't hit them, and I was just oh, women control the ocean. Yes, And so then I kind of started writing a couple words towards that. Later on, I was in my mom's room, I think, watching Dateline, and then I was just looking at her, and she has a bunch of stretch marks over her body from her pregnancies between me and my other brothers, and I was just oh, interesting, stretch marks, shooting stars, giving birth to life, all that stuff, and it kind of just goes in. So I see different day-to-day things that kind of go into my poetry. So it's I just see things around me. Yeah.
One, you are an inspiration. I actually adore you.
Oh, thank
I
you.
resonated so much with the second one, and I wanted to know the story about it because I am also very curious. I feel like we're in the same situation.
The story about the post office or about the poem?
The poem. I mean, maybe both. Yeah.
Okay. I'll start with the poem. So, not to get into too many details, but I was in this little situation with this. They weren't a bad person, but it was mainly just of a thing of right person, right time, but wrong universe. I'm a very universe person, and if it's not even if we vibe, if it's not a thing of connecting on like some sort of like spiritual thing, then it's like it's kind of hard to be there. And then also like after that realization, drifts start to happen. You know, like drifting away, not like texting back, not calling back, and it's just like, no, I want to be wrong, but the universe is right sometimes. It was just a whole thing of just like coming to terms with getting older and pushing away from like that feeling of wanting to cling on to something that may feel right, but like, you know, in the long run is pretty wrong. Yeah.
I think we have time for one more question.
There's several.
Yep. Hold up.
I just wanted to know about the post office. I've been dying. What you said, you always get yelled at. I just want to know why.
So my mom works at the post office. She's worked there for a while now, and I always give her my letters and my stuff to mail. But then I turned 18. She was just like, you can do it yourself. And I was like, no, I can't have anxiety. And she's like, yes, you can. It was a whole argument. It went like for like 30 minutes. But I was like, okay, I'll go to the post office. And I went. And I went to in Rosendale. I got there bright and early. I walked in. They were like, how can I help you? And then I started stammering. So I was just like, I don't remember what I need. I needed like a stamp. And they're like, what do you need? You're holding up the line. I was just like, I don't know. And they're like, get out then. I was like, okay. And then I left. And then I went back again to like return a package that wasn't for me. And they're like, why do you have this? You steal it? And I was like, no, I promise I didn't steal it. And like, yes, you did. And I was like, okay. And I walked out. It was just, I think it's just the Rosendale post office that just has a thing against me. I don't know what it is, but yeah.
Blatant racism to me. Like,
You gotta fix that.
I was about to say.
You gotta fix that Rosendale post office.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Angelica, for coming and blessing the stage. Thank you so much. Well, that is the end of our run here.
Sadly.
So sad. I'm glad everyone came out to see us. I want to thank Zoomix. I want to thank Mitchka. I want to thank Angelica, all from blessing the stage with your amazing art. Yeah. I also want to thank Cristela for joining me.
It was honestly a pleasure and an honor. Share the video. We're obviously going to make this available. If just this art should be seen, other people should see it, spread it around. Thank you for coming and joining us tonight. Hopefully people were walking by. Actually, I know people walking by were inspired by your work.
They heard it.
It's true.
I saw.
Yeah. So I get to promote our next series. I work for the arts and culture team. So our next concert, it's part of the Sound On series featuring hip-hop collective Van Buren. Live right here at WBUR CitySpace. That's Thursday, August 25th. I don't think there's pizza that night, but we can feed you through music. So please, please
Feed
join
the
us.
soul.
Thank you for coming. Thank you so much.
Please take more pizza and enjoy the rest of your time. Thank you.
Absolutely.